everybody, this is Kimberly Michelle and you are watching Life with Kimberly Michelle. Today I want to talk about mystery shopping. I'm going to tell you guys how I made over $900 part-time in my spare time in just 2 months time. So here we go. I took notes. It's a lot of information, so I'm going to be looking down at my notes. So mystery shopping is pretty much businesses want to know how their employees are doing. So they pay mystery shoppers to come in, shop, act as normal customers, get a report, get it back to them, and then they get paid for it. So a lot of people think mystery shopping is a scam, and there has been some scams out there. I know years ago I wanted to get into mystery shopping, but I really thought it was a scam. I didn't know much about it, so the moment they asked me for my bank account information, I was like, oh no, that's okay, it's a scam. But it is a legit thriving business, and it is a lot of business out there. So they will, ask for your bank account information because they need to pay you. And it's a business, and some of them, they only pay through direct deposit. Some of them will pay you through PayPal. Some of them pay you in a check. But it's a legitimate thing. They actually have a national organization that legitimizes all of these mystery shopping companies, and it's called the MSPA. I believe that's what it's called. I'll put the link to it, of course, in the description box. And I believe it's called the MSPA, and I don't know what that stands for. I don't know. Mystery Shoppers of America, something to that effect. Anyway, let's get into it. So looking down at my notes, what types of mystery shops are there? There are mystery shops for everything. Just to name a few, you have regular clothing stores, grocery stores, gas stations, entertainment spots like bowling alleys. Let's see. One of my favorite ones that I did was a makeup counter. I was into that. So, it's all kinds of mystery shops. Everyone wants to know how their employees are doing. So, some of the ones I did while I was on this, I wanted to monitor this for a couple months because I wanted to see, how much money can you really make doing this? Is it worth it? Can you really make some extra cash doing this? And my goal was to make some extra money to go to my family reunion trip, which was going to be in Tampa, Florida. And I really did not want to spend my regular budgeted money, so I wanted to make some extra cash. So yeah, I monitored it. I jumped right in. I found out about a couple of the companies from watching YouTube videos, and the His and Her Money show. That's the first video I watched. And there was another, once I got into mystery shopping, I watched another YouTuber. I'll link her video as well. I'll link both videos where I got some of the companies that I actually used for the mystery shops. So to give you an idea of what it's like, they have their website, they have a job board, you put in all your information, you sign up, and you give them your name, address, phone number. You have to give them your social because this is a job. It's an independent contractor type job, so they will give you a 1099 at the end of the year. However, I believe law is if you make $600 or more, you're issued a 1099. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure what it is, but it's a certain amount that if you make with one particular company, they will send you a 1099 at the end of the year so that you can claim that money that you made on your taxes. So yeah, they need your social. I know some people are skeptical about giving out their social, some people just are, but these are legit companies, and if you want to check them out, you can go to that National Association, MSPA, that I told you about, just to make sure that they are a legit company. Now, you go on there, you sign up, and some of them approve you right away. Some of them you have to wait a couple days to get approved. and they have a job board. You put in your zip code or whatever area you want to shop in, and you can choose from the shops. You choose what you want to do, when you want to do it. They'll tell you what they have available, the date and time that it needs to be done, the date and time that it needs to be due, that your report needs to be due, and you choose. So you're choosing your own schedule. Oh, and they also tell you how much it pays. So they will range in pay from anywhere from $5 up to the highest one I ever got paid for a single one was $60. That was kind of unheard of. I mean, I wouldn't say it's unheard of, but it was the most that I've ever gotten paid was $60. The average for me was anywhere between $10 and $20 per shop. That was about the average that I was getting paid. So, and I will say, in the 2 months that I did the test on this, where I made over 900 bucks, I kind of went hard. And when I say I went hard, I was taking on quite a few shops. However, I was only doing this after work and on the weekends. Now, during that time, I worked a full-time job and I did hair at the shop on Saturdays. So I already had a part-time job and a full-time job, and then I did this in between that. So I wouldn't say it cut into my life any. So, but I mean, I did kind of take it seriously, and I was legitimately taking on maybe 5 to 10 shops a week. And what I think helped me was I only chose shops in my area. I only chose shops that were within 5 to 10 minutes drive from my home. Or if I knew I was going to be in the area that day, in another area, I would choose a shop in that area. Like, say, if I knew I was going to a friend's house next Thursday, I would look for a shop that I could do next Thursday that's in that area, and then, you know, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So you don't have to waste gas riding around. You can just choose shops that are in your area. The out-of-pocket costs. First, let me say, there is no cost to do this. You don't have to pay a fee or pay anyone. If anyone asks you for money, it is, I wouldn't do it. It's not legit. But I don't want to say it's not legit, because I did come across one through a reputable company that did ask for a deposit. And I don't want to get into what it was for, because as mystery shoppers, our contracts were not allowed to say who the what company we're doing the mystery shopping for. You can't just go around telling everyone and your friends, hey, I'm doing a mystery shop at XYZ company, because it could get back to their employees, which I think, though, a lot of times they disclose to their employees that, you know, you are being shopped. However, in the contract, it does say don't do that. So I'm not going to say, but there was a company, I know, to take a shop this one time. They were giving you a lot, but they wanted this deposit to make sure you were going to do the work, because for what they were giving you, they had to give it to you up front. I'll just say it was entertainment tickets. And if you got those tickets, went to the entertainment event, and then never submitted, you know, your report, they're at a loss. So they asked for a deposit. In that case, that was the only time I've ever seen them ask for money. Now, the other times you have to actually purchase things. There are some shops where you have to put up your own money. You get it reimbursed, plus you get a fee paid to you. So for example, the most frequent ones are the restaurants. They have restaurants, fast food, and then they have restaurants that are sit down. For fast food, of course, you have to go in there and buy some food. So you would go in there and buy lunch. Usually they tell you what you can purchase. Not down to the, most of the time, not down to the actual item, but the type of item. Like, say you want a hot dog, but they want you to purchase a hamburger, so you have to purchase a hamburger. So you need the money for that. They will reimburse you up to a certain amount. It tells you when you accept the shop, we're going to reimburse you up to X amount of dollars, and then we're going to pay you X amount of dollars. So for example, they will reimburse up to $10. will pay you $10 to do the shop and submit your findings. Now, if you go in there and you make a purchase over the reimbursement amount, then that's on you. We're only going to reimburse you up to this amount. Sometimes what they require you to buy is slightly over the reimbursement amount. And I'm not sure if that's because I live in a different market and the cost of living is higher. I don't know, because I'm like, okay, you told me you'd give me $13, but clearly this is $14. But you know, it's usually not that much over. So with that said, you don't have to pick the shops that require an upfront purchase. You could pick the shops that don't require a purchase, which there are a lot of those out there. Now, when I first started, I was picking everything. Just if it wasn't too much out of pocket, I was just picking it. After about 30 days, I decided I want to slow down and only do the shops that I don't have to pay out of pocket for. Because leading what I'm about to tell you is when to get paid, some of these places don't pay you for 60 days after you submit your findings. So, which that's a long time. But some of them will pay you in a couple weeks, some in 30 days, some in 60 days. But what I found is the majority of them paid in 60 days. Now, it's a long time to wait, so you're not going to be making money right away. But when it comes, it does come. So I kept a spreadsheet, and on that spreadsheet, I listed each shop, how much it paid, how much it reimbursed. I just kept a nice record of it. And as they paid me, I would type in the amount I got paid and the date, so I could keep up with, making sure I was getting paid. Okay, guys, this is my spreadsheet that I kept. I just kept it on Google Sheets, and as you can see, I kept pretty good detail. I covered up the name of the company, so I had the date of the shop, the city, when it was due, the pay, the expense, reimbursement amount, the company I was working for, the mystery shop company I was working for, the date I submitted the shop, the payment amount, and the payment date. So some of them I overspent, and I put that over there too, just so I could keep track of how much money I was spending and making. So as you can see, let's look in the payment amounts. You can see how they varied. There's one for $27, $3. Now this payment amount also includes any reimbursements I received. So guys, I just want to point out this total says $1,100, but this includes my reimbursement. So without getting my reimbursements back, I made a profit of about $960, but this includes the actual reimbursements and the profit. That's what this total is. And this was from May through July of 2016. Now, how do they pay you? They will pay you either by PayPal. Some of them require you have a PayPal account to even sign up with them, because some companies only pay through PayPal. So they'll pay you via PayPal. Some will do direct deposit. Some will give you the option, and some will send you an actual check in the mail. I've gotten paid in all three ways. So whichever you prefer. Some of them give you a choice, and some of them you have no choice. That's the only way they pay, and you have to go with it. When you do sign up with these companies, and I'm going to list a few, I can't list them all. I'm signed up with anywhere between 30 to 40 of these companies, and it does benefit you to sign up with as many as you can, because a lot of times some of them won't have shops in your area, or they may have a bunch of shops this week in your area and next week none. So you want to be signed up with several to give yourself, an option. So when you sign up, I suggest you have a separate email account. I found this out the hard way. They are going to bombard you with emails. Please have a separate email account just for mystery shopping, because they're going to send you out emails daily, sometimes several times a day, saying, hey, we have a shop here, we have a shop there, we have a shop here, we have a shop there. And some of them you may be interested in, but most of them you're not going to be interested in. So, you know, and plus you're going to be going to their boards daily to look, so you may have already seen it, and then here they come with 5 emails about it. So yeah, I didn't realize that at first, and I used an email account that I use regularly, and now I'm stuck because I just am. And the other thing is, some of them, this is another thing I didn't realize, you can only sign up with the ones that require you to do PayPal for payment. You have to have the email address that they communicate with you has to be your PayPal email address. So that's why I was using my regular email address, because that's where my PayPal was. And had I known, I would have just maybe did a different PayPal or something like that, because I mean, they really do bombard you with emails. This is just so much information. I'm looking down in my notes, and I don't want this video to be too long because I don't want it to get boring, but it really is so much information. In addition to shops that you have to actually go physically to, retail shops, there are other shops such as surveys. I didn't do too many surveys. I can remember doing 1, maybe 2 surveys for $5 where you just answer questions online, and that was $5. So that may have taken me 10 minutes and I made $5. Granted, I had to wait a month or so to get the $5, but hey. And but like I said, if you're doing, you know, a bunch of these, your money's is going to come at one time in a lump sum, kind of, sort of. So even though you're making $5 here, $10 there, it's going to start rolling. So, but yeah, there's you can do phone shops. Sometimes the phone shops are, to give you an idea of what it's like, you're calling someone and you're getting you're seeing what their customer service is like if you call and make an inquiry. Those can range anywhere from $5 to $20. Then there are internet web page shops. You go to their website just to look around the website and see, you know, is it engaging, or do they have this, do they have that? Is it easy to find this tab? If you want to do this, was it easy to navigate through the website? Those pay about $5. So there are so many things to do. Now, what do you have to do to become a mystery shopper, or are there any qualifications? I would say the only qualification is you have to be an organized person. You really do, because when you start getting these shops and you have to report on them, you have to be so detailed. You have to be detail oriented and organized, because they are going to want you to provide very detailed information on what you saw. And just simply saying, oh yeah, the customer service was good, is not going to cut it. You have to go into detail. You have to get the person's name and a description of the person, and all of this stuff you have to remember. If you guys want me to do a separate video on maybe how I go about doing my shops and how I remember all the details I need to remember, I can do that. Put it in the comments, or if you have any questions on anything I'm saying, because I feel like this is so much and I'm just back and forth and saying so much. So please put it in the comments below if you have any questions, or if you want me to do another video going into deeper detail on how I go about doing the shop correctly. Okay, so you have to be detail oriented, you have to be organized, and you have to be able to communicate well. You have to have good written communication skills, because everything you report is written. And I'm going to tell you, if that report is not completed to their satisfaction, they're not going to pay you. So beware of that too. And if you don't follow the instructions, they give you very detailed instructions on what you need to do. If you don't follow those instructions to the T, then they're not going to pay you. And sometimes the instructions for the same store, same type of shop, will change week to week. And I'll give you an example. I did a shop once, and the next week I did the same shop again at another store. I went in there, I took my time, I did the shop, I went back, I did the report, and the person who, I forget what they call them, but you know, they have like project managers or whatever, but I forget what they call them. But she was telling me, oh no, you did this wrong. And I'm like, what do you mean I did it wrong? I have the instructions right here. And she's like, oh no, those were last quarter's instructions. This quarter, we're doing something else. I'm like, I know you lying. So I go back and I look, and I don't know how I figured when I accepted the shop, I printed down the instructions, not realizing that by the time I did the shop, there were new instructions. So that one, I was really a little ticked off, but you know, what can you do? And so I didn't get paid for that. But also receipts, you have to keep receipts. That's the only way you're going to get paid or reimbursed or whatever. And then if it's a place where you don't have to pay anything, they want a business card or whatever, they'll tell you what they want. Sometimes you have to take a picture of the storefront. Sometimes they have little apps where you have to check in to get a timestamp that you were there at that time. Each one is different, and they'll let you know. You'll know everything you need to do before you go. And read your instructions carefully. I cannot stress this enough. Read the instructions carefully, because you don't want to do all that work and then not get paid. Okay, so what else do you need to do? I would say you would need a car, definitely, because you're going to be driving around to these various places. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you don't need any special skills other than, you know, being detail oriented and organized. If you know you don't like to write detailed information, don't even try to do it, because most of them are going to be like that. Now, I take that back, because you can do some, like gas stations. Like my fiance, I encouraged him to start doing the gas stations, because he is very unorganized and not at all detailed oriented. But I feel like the gas stations he could do, because those questionnaires are pretty much multiple choice for the most part, and uploading photos. It's very little typing. So gas stations are good. You can do a gas station, once you get the flow of them, you can do a gas station in 15-20 minutes, and you can come home, upload your report in about the same time, and bam, you got $10-12 you've made, and then you get reimbursed for the gas. Now, they're not going to let you fill up your tank. They're just letting you get enough gas to do the shop. But hey, if you're doing, I mean, and they'll let you do a lot of those. You could do like 5 of those in a day, for example. You could do more, but I'm just saying, I've done like maybe 5 in a day. And by the time you go around to 5 different gas stations, then you do almost have a full tank of gas, if not a full tank of gas. So that was my experience with mystery shopping. I really enjoy. I haven't done it in a while, only because I've been so busy, and I'm getting married, I've been planning my wedding, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, so I haven't really had time. And once you do select the job and say I want it, you have to complete it. And if you start accepting them and then backing out and saying I'm not going to do it, then you know they kind of stop using you and assigning them to you, or letting you assign them to yourself. So that is my experience with mystery shopping. Please, if you have any questions on this, or if you want more information, put it in the comment box below. And be sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.